We want to talk about business growth. In the last couple of lessons, we talked about uh, how to measure business size. So now we want to talk about business growth. Basically, when you're talking about the part on business growth, we're talking about just different ways or an act of a business where it wants to increase its size, basically, right? Increase in what? Increase in size. That's basically what business growth is going to be talking about. We want to increase the business size, like what you have already probably might have guessed on, probably the different ways on how to increase business size. We're going to be talking about the parts of. We're going to be considering much on the factors that affect business that we use actually whenever we're measuring business size. Yeah. So we can split these now broadly into organic methods or into inorganic methods, and we can just call organic methods. We can just call them. Internal growth methods, right? Talking about the part on internal growth. Then we can also have inorganic growth, which is the part inorganic, which involves the part now of including a third party. So inorganic can also be called external growth, right? So we're talking about the part on organic growth. We are saying that the business is making a decision to expand its operations without involving any other company, right? It's a solo move that the business is making. It's a solo move that the business is making. So there is no involvement. There's no third part that is involved in this. There's no third company. There's no other company that is actually going to be involved in this, right? We're talking about the part that the business is just expanding from within. It's expansion from within. It's using itself to actually do this increase. One that you might need to be noting already is that this is kind of a slow way of expanding operations. Just know that at any given point in time, inorganic is way faster as compared to organic growth, right? So from here we can talk about fake things like the business probably opening new outlets, right? New outlets. So if company A is operating in town C, right? Then it decides to open another branch now that is called A1, maybe in company D. So we're now saying that the number of outlets for this company have increased, which means if it has also increased its operations. Check this part. Opening a new outlet did not involve us having to consult another company or to get into hold or into joining with another company. It was just company A doing a move that is opening another branch in area D, which is a form of internal growth. Why? Because there is no third part that is involved in this, right? We can talk about the part on probably still company A coming through to do the part on increasing the number of products that they are using. Rather, let's just talk about the part of bringing in new products, right? When a firm is bringing in new products, it means that it's now expanding its operations. So suppose company A only sells product X. If it starts now to sell also product Y on top of X, we are saying now the company has just increased its line of operation because it's targeting now people not just for X but also for Y. So most probably this company is going to be involved in enjoying more profits at the very end of the day because it now has more than one product that it is selling. Many companies have been using this. If you want to talk about probably the Apple Store, right? Apple probably, if it started making computers, if it started probably making MacBooks, it later on started making on phones, right? Not just phones, it went on to pods, it went on to probably iPads. You see, it's increasing its line of operation. So if a company starts in to sell new products, we are saying that the company is increasing its operations. It's growing, yeah, but it's growing internally. That's the thing that you must need to know about this part. One thing that I love about internal growth is the part that the company stays in charge. The company stays in control or in charge of everything. No dilution of ownership, in charge or in control or in ownership. Yeah, there's no dilution of ownership here. The company still remains the ultimate owner of this business at the very end of the day. There ain't no third party whom they are going to be sharing the control in. What's wrong with control? If we just share control, we are likely going to be diverting to our original plan or to our original reason why we even started the business in the first place. So yeah, that's basically what we can actually just summarize as far as organic or internal growth is concerned. The other side of the coin now involves the business involving another third part, another company. This involves other companies, yeah? Involves other firms, rather, let's just say firms, other firms. So we're talking about the part on a business coming through, not to extend from within, but to go outside its operations and try probably to combine or to merger. We can talk about mergers here. We can talk about which is the same as integration in some books, right? A business integrating with another business, or a business going on. Integrating is the merger or integration. This is a joint decision whereby two parties, they agree to actually combine their operations. But in some cases now, we might not even get to the part of getting in the agreement, but we can just get on the part of acquisition. We call these ones takeovers now. Talk about the part on business takeover. We're talking about the part that we are acquiring a new firm or we are buying more than 50% of their shares. Hence, at the very end of the day, we are now owning or we have taken over their operations, basically. Yeah. So that's how you can actually go ahead and do a research on how mergers are different from takeovers. You see that there's something that is called hostile takeover. You might as well go ahead and research on that so as to know how you can how that business term is used, basically. So we are saying now external growth involves other firms, yeah. And check this part now. This is a pretty much faster way of actually expanding. Right? It's a faster way of expansion simply because we are saying that it's just us going to another firm, putting in the money, and those guys are now are now part of us. That's basically what we're going to be having here. So takeovers can actually be split with acquisitions. When we talk about acquisitions, we're talking about the part of purchasing another business, yeah? This might be different from takeovers. You can actually go and research again about that. But basically, acquisition is the part where a business pays some money just to buy another business operations. That business is now theirs. So if A here decides to go ahead and probably buy company G, so at the end of the day, company G is now operating under company A. Company A has expanded its operations by opening another business, but by buying another business. I hope that makes sense. How we are classifying that as external. Okay, so that's basically what we can see now as far as external growth is concerned. If a business decides to merge, there is a risk now of dilution of ownership, right? There's a risk now of dilution of control as well. If company A agrees to join with company B, company A is no longer in total control of this organization because this organization is now called AB. They're going to be dividing the control of this business. The ownership is now diluted as well. A owns part, B owns part of this organization, AB. It's no longer A's business, neither it is B's business. It's now AB's business. So there's dilution of ownership and control as far as these are concerned, which is one thing that you might need also to be knowing, yeah? Okay, with that knowledge being said, let's now go ahead and appreciate different forms which a business can actually do, can integrate, right? Integration, we say that this is a voluntary agreement of a business to combine its operations with another. A business is combining its operations with another, we call that integration. So we need now to appreciate on the part on what are the different forms of integration that we might be having. Integration can actually be seen in three different ways. Oh, come on, it's integration like this. So talking about integration, we're talking about the first part that you're going to be having as far as this is concerned is called horizontal integration. Then we also have what we call a vertical integration. Then we also have what we call conglomerate integration. Conglomerate integration, yeah? So talking about these three now, they are all based on the movement as far as the line of production is concerned. Let's take, for instance, that we have a company that forms, that manufactures, let's say, we can say that it's in the baking industry, right? The baking industry is a manufacturing industry. Then there's a company that is also, let's say, in the farming industry. When we are baking, probably we will be needing wheat or something, or we'll be needing flour. So this is in the primary sector, secondary sector. Let's say now there is another a company that is in the banking sector, right? Baking industry, okay, baking industry. Then this one is the banking industry. This is now tertiary. Yeah, this is primary. This is secondary, and this is tertiary. Yeah. So talking about the partner on horizontal integration, we're saying that a baking company is going to be joining with another baking company. Company A is baking, company B is baking. These two guys, they are agreeing to join together to form one company, which is AB. We call that horizontal integration. They are at the same level of production, right? Same level of production. We call it horizontal. If companies that are in the same level of production, they actually decide to join together to start to do some operations together. Yeah. Then when you talk about the part of vertical integration now, it's going to be coming through in two. We are saying that it's going to be going up the ladder because we say primary first. From primary, we go to secondary. From secondary, we then go to tertiary. Yeah. So when we have a firm that is in the secondary joining now with a firm that is in the primary, that's vertical. So if this guy is the one that made the move to want to join with this company, we call that backward integration. Right? So somebody who is in the baking industry saying that let's just combine our operations with someone who supplies wheat or flour, per se, flour or wheat, we are saying now this is backward integration, backward vertical integration. Why? Because you are going down the ladder, but you are still in the same production line. You're combining with a firm that is offering you raw materials. Check this part. You're combining with a firm that is offering you raw materials. So at the end of the day, you want to secure these raw materials. Maybe they are scarce at times. But if this company that is offering these raw materials is now your company as well, then you ain't going to be lacking any raw materials whenever you want to do your production. That's the reason why somebody might actually go for backward integration. By the same reason, if there is a flood of produce in the primary sector, then they want to sell these to the secondary sector. We are saying that if they are competing for customers, the company that is in the primary sector can combine with the company that is in the secondary sector by making a move to vertical integration, whereby you are saying that you don't want to be having the labor of finding the best or finding customers. You're just going to be making sure that you and your customer, you start operating as one. So we call that vertical. Oh, come on. This is forward vertical. We call this is forward vertical, not backward. This is forward vertical integration. You're going up to go and actually combine with someone who is above you. That's basically what's happening as far as forward integration is concerned. Forward vertical integration, of course. When you're talking about the part of on conglomerate now, this is when two firms that are probably having they're operating in two different markets that are going to be joining together. Check, for instance, that a company that is probably in the telecoms, in the telecommunication sector, combining with a company that is probably in the manufacturing sector, or let's say in the farming sector. Let's just say it like that. In the farming sector, these two guys, they are not related at all. This is in the telecoms and this is in the farming business. So if these guys, they tend to connect together now, we call this now an integration, but it's conglomerate because they have no base that they actually have that is in common as far as line of operation is concerned. Why might firms do this, you ask, is because of diversification, yeah? They want to diversify their operations, diversification. They want to spread the risk of losses. At some point, you might see that the telecoms is making more money. Sometimes you might see that the farming is making more money. At the very end of the day, if these now are belonging to the same company, let's say they are now owned by Rusi, we are saying at the very end of the day, telecoms is going to be coming through to be one of my businesses, same as farming being one of my businesses. So profits here are going to be adding onto the profits here. If this one makes a loss, we get an advantage now that this guy is going to be benefiting, is going to be helping us to give us better profits if this is making a loss. At the very end of the day, we have a business that has just grown. Basically, what we have as far as business growth is concerned. I'm pretty sure that you are taking down some notes as far as this is concerned, and I will send in the full-fledged version of these notes after this session. Yeah.